Hey Max, hey YouTube, Parson Rick coming at you on on Max Defiant Pipes 1 year anniversary. Hey, congratulations! You got a great channel. I always enjoy it, and interesting idea for a contest. I appreciate it. Here at work, so I'm not smoking anything. I'll probably tack on something at the end. You wanted some fatherly advice. Things you learn. My dad was a great one for proverbs, sayings, mostly anecdotal wisdom, catchphrases, stuff like that. But the first piece of advice he gave me, which I have held on to my whole life and I have passed on to my kids, was work first, play later. I hated that. We grew up on a farm and, we'd want to go do something, but we always had to give him one day of the weekend. And when we were smart, we gave him Saturday, got it over with, and we had everything after Saturday morning was ours. A lot of good reasoning behind this. One, if you are having work hanging over your head while you're going and trying to have fun, it's going to be hanging over your head. And you're not relaxed. You're not free to enjoy what it is you want to enjoy, that you put off work for enjoying. It's always there hanging over your head. And as we get older and stuff, working as opposed to playing, paying bills as opposed to living under a bridge, a lot of interesting stuff like that. It applies in a lot of situations. Number two, he always told me don't lie, because then you don't have to remember your story. You don't have to remember what you said. And I've been in the company of lots of chronic liars, people that just can't tell the truth. They won't tell the truth. There's no reason for them to lie. They just make up a fib. And now sometimes in the past I have done that for the entertainment value, let's say. But I've had guys that I trusted and relied on who just, they didn't know what they believed. People pleasing. I've been tied closely to people who would just tell other people whatever it was they thought they wanted to hear, instead of what you believe. What you believe, what you will do, your values, your morals, your commitments, those, and they don't change. I'm not a believer in situational ethics. What I believe is what I believe, and what I do reflects that belief. So maybe having grown up with ideas of honor and forthrightness, Chad Yarbo was talking about being a man of your word. I believe that. I've been bitten in the butt by that so many times. I don't know if I told you guys the story. Okay, story time. We'll take a time out, Max. I'll tell you a story. When I was a wee lad, when I was 14, my uncle gave me a 1948 Mercury 8. Awesome car, a luxury vehicle of its time, and it was totally straight, just didn't have an engine. I got it running when I was about 17. I'd made enough money to put an engine in it and all this sort of stuff. Went camping. When I came back from the camping trip, a oak tree had cracked down the middle, fallen on it, and broke out the rear window. And I came in and I was talking to my dad about it, and he had a friend there. This friend was a car guy. And I was just so upset. I had no idea where I was gonna get this money in the middle of the winter. It wasn't like summer where I was working. And I said, man, I should just sell it. And the guy said, well, what do you want for it? And I said, $50. Guy says, done. Yeah, I said, no. I'm just mad. I don't want to sell the car. My dad looked at me and said, you quoted the man a price. I sold that car. Look it up sometime. A 1948 Mercury 8. Go on, look at the images. It's an awesome car. And that guy got it for 50 bucks. Later, I came to find out that since I wasn't of proper age, I could not even sell the car legally in Oregon. I couldn't enter into a contract. But I quoted the man of price. So being a man of your word, not lying, telling the truth, very important. I threw my wife a surprise birthday party for her 40th birthday, and I went to a great deal of trouble to not lie in any way, shape, or form to get her to her surprise birthday party. It can be very difficult. Lying is easy. Don't do it. All right. The third most important piece of information that my father gave me, one that, Max, you can pass on to your young son in a year or two. I had a girlfriend, and one day my dad called me out to the patio, and we were sitting there talking.
Matt Becker.
And he said, excuse me?
Yeah. Can you come down by the bus?
I'm at work, obviously. He said, I suppose that in school you've learned all about the birds and the bees. I said, well, humph, yes I have, Father. I'm almost an expert on it by now. And he said, well, this little girlfriend you got, and I was probably 16, 17 years old. He said, if you mess around and get her pregnant, I just want you to realize that you will quit school and go to work for the rest of your life to support that child. That was really good advice. Really. It was very prophylactic. So, and of course, we never did. Didn't have any kids till after I got married. So, I'll be back in a little bit, but for right now, little words of wisdom from my father. All right, I'm back. So the first part was my dad's words, and I agree with all of them. I've passed them on many times, and I still live by them today. You will be hard put to have me lie. I ain't getting anybody pregnant. Did that. Got 4 great kids. If any of you are watching this, my children, bless your hearts. You've been a blessing to me, and I enjoy each and every one of you. So, some words from me. Not that I have any great wisdom, like your father, Max. The only real wisdom I have comes from the book. But I'll give you some things that I fervently believe. 1, have adventures. Have a life. You know at the end of Secondhand Lions where he goes, oh, they really lived? Yes, they really lived. Live, for crying out loud. So many people don't have a life. They don't live a life to look back on and say, that was so awesome. You know, life's treacherous, life's dangerous. You don't know when you're gonna die. You don't know when the bus is gonna come around the corner. My son got cancer on his 4th birthday. My brother died of cancer at 24. You never know. You just never know. And especially motorcyclists, we never know. Something is going to happen, I guarantee it. But have an adventure, have a life. And if you're going to get married, don't get married don't have kids for at least 2 years. Go out and have a life together before you're saddled with a child and all that sort of stuff. We tell young couples that all the time. Go have a life. Make a life that's just the 2 of you. So have adventures. Have a life. I remember one time I was watching these kids with boffs, you know, the foam things, you know, and they were slashing at each other, and they thought they were having an adventure. No, you're not having an adventure. My buddies and I used to do it with real edged weapons. Kind of came to a stop when I shoved a machete through the stomach of one of my buddies. that's another story for another time. 2, don't take life personally. Not everybody that hurts your feelings did it on purpose. Most people never give you a thought. They're just going on in their own life, and life is full of casual bystanders, collateral damage. Don't take things personally. Let it go. Forgive people in advance. I have a hard time doing this. I spent a lot of years being very angry, very upset, and still, like I said in a previous video, when I get blindsided, watch out. Just watch out. But I really try not to let things own me. Number 3, control yourself. A guy's got a lot of power, physically, emotionally. You got a lot of power. Control that. You don't have to impose your will on everyone around you all the time. You can let a lot go. Pick your battles, all those sayings like that. Just relax. Have a good time. Love people. There is a scripture. I'll give you a scripture, Matt. It's in Proverbs. I'm not going to look it up. I think it's 22, 25, 25, 22, something like that. And it says, a man who does not control his spirit is like a city broken down and without walls. A city broken down and without walls is unprotected. And we need to protect ourselves. We need to protect our emotions, our minds, what goes in the eye gate. So, that's all I got. Don't ask me if I hold all these things all the time, because controlling myself, I have a lot of trouble with that. I was in a bad place this weekend, and one guy asked the wrong question at the wrong time, and the floodgate opened. And I regret that I didn't control myself. And I'm going to have to reap the harvest of that. So it's upwards in my mind right now. So, to recap, don't lie. You don't have to remember your story. Work first, play later. Don't get her pregnant. And if you do, be responsible for that child. Have adventures. Don't take life personally. Control yourself. So Max, good idea. I appreciate it. Excellent idea. And good luck with your son and all your future children. Raise them to be better than you. I've tried to raise mine to be better than me. Here's an extra, just for you, Max. I have always believed that it is a father's job to lift your children as high as you can and then give them a good push. We should be so proud of our children who are better than we are. Better men, better providers, just better. So, God bless. Parson Rick.